Hi everyone, lovely of you to join me again. And here we are facing still lockdown, but we now have a few lifting of restrictions. Very, very welcome. Everybody is delighted that things are getting a little bit easier, but there are now perhaps a few anxieties that come with it. There's the social side of it. We've not been used to being with people again, and that's something that we will find difficult. We will have an adjustment with it. We also perhaps wondered, is it absolutely safe? So that might give us a little bit of stress still, how safe will we be going out with all these people? We've also, and it might seem a little bit trite, but it can be very important, is we suddenly are looking at ourselves. We're going to be out and about in the public eye again. Have we put on a bit of weight while we've been in lockdown? Are the clothes that once fitted so perfectly now feeling just that little bit tight? Quite possibly. And most of it is because we're being comfort eating, or perhaps just eating the wrong foods, or eating the right foods, but too much of them. So let's first of all look at the relationship between insulin and fat. Whatever we eat is turned in our bodies into glucose. This is our main form of energy. Glucose in turn is turned to glycogen, and glycogen is stored within the muscles of the body. So if we are active and doing exercise, etc., that's readily available, wonderful. But if we're still eating, the body's still turning all that food into glucose. The glycogen stores can't take any more. So what the body does is it will actually release insulin. The insulin will in turn enable the body to turn all that glucose into fat, which is what we don't want. And that fat is very, very difficult to move. So we need to stop eating the foods that will cause us those sort of problems. So what kind of foods can we avoid? Things like sugar itself. We know, I think, most people are aware that sugar can be a problem to the bodies. That will raise your glucose, your blood sugar levels. It's a simple carbohydrate. There's no fibre to slow down that absorption or to slow down the digestion. So therefore, it's one of the worst things that we can have. And it's not just sugar itself. It's products that contain sugar. You've got your sweets, your cakes, all that kind of thing, any kind of confectionery, alcohol. But a lot of other general foods, bread, baked beans, sauces, often contain a lot of sugar too. And if we have too much fruit, there is quite a lot of sugar contained within that. So we'll have to watch the amount of sugar that we consume. And I don't mean just pure sugar, I mean the sugar within foods. There are then other simple carbohydrates like your white foods, the white bread, the white pasta, the white rice, all that kind of thing. All that again will lead to high glucose levels, which will lead to insulin. Again, it'll be more fat. It could be you're juicing things and thinking you're being extremely healthy. If you're juicing your fruit and your veg and then straining that and having that lovely drink, it could be that you're now releasing all the sugars, but not having any of the fibre anymore. It's just gone and digested very, very quickly and turned to glucose. Things that you may not have considered that are related directly to the production of insulin are things like stress. Stress will actually lead to a production of adrenaline. Adrenaline will affect our blood glucose levels. And that can in itself be a great problem. The other things that will go along with that are things like smoking, something that we do to reduce stress. A lot of people will smoke, or they will take caffeine, a good cup of coffee or alcohol. Again, they will actually produce adrenaline, which in turn will raise our glucose levels. They are not healthy for us, and we need to be aware of all these things that we're perhaps doing every day. So what can we do? What are the foods that we should or can be eating to help this problem? It's the whole foods. It's things like your fresh fruit and veg, as near to its natural state as possible, so barely cooked. Stir fries and things are wonderful because the food is so quickly cooked, all the nutrients are still there, and you're getting all the fibre. So let's look at some foods that you may go for, some meals that you think are healthy, but perhaps aren't all that healthy after all. You could perhaps be going for a breakfast of a cereal, something like Cheerios, a glass of orange juice, and a cup of coffee. Is that okay? Sounds good. But it's simple carbohydrates. There's no protein in that at all, and protein slows down the digestive process. So you will find that with those things, you're getting caffeine as well on top of that. All of these are triggers for insulin. So you've got sugar foods, you've got the orange juice, which is sugar. There's no fibre at all. And then you've got caffeine, which will actually lead to the adrenaline and then high glucose levels. So not good. What could we have instead? Something that's a bit more slow releasing, things like your porridge, which we talk about a lot, perhaps with berries and a few nuts and fruits on the top of that. Nuts and seeds are very good things to have because they do slow our digestive system down and therefore the changing of the food into glucose. It could be that instead you have something like a piece of wholemeal toast with a poached egg for your breakfast. Again, all very good, because now you're getting, okay, it could be carbohydrate, but it's now complex carbohydrates, it's wholemeal bread. You're getting the protein of the egg. With that, all this is slowing the digestive system down. You'll feel fuller for longer. You're less likely to want a snack, and therefore it's much better for our bodies overall. Should we snack? If you've had that slightly higher sugary breakfast, by mid-morning, you'll probably be ravenous. So what do you turn to? A biscuit and another cup of coffee? That's what a lot of people do. If you can, perhaps go for something like, again, a piece of wholemeal toast, just small, perhaps with a little bit of cottage cheese or some peanut butter. Certainly don't turn to the biscuit tin, because again, you're just exacerbating the whole problem. Lunchtime comes and you think, well, I'll just have a nice pasta salad. No. Simple carbohydrate again, no protein whatsoever. You've actually got problems. You're better going for a proper mixed leaf salad, perhaps with a bit of tuna or egg or cheese or something like that. Just be careful that you're not introducing too much in the way of pasta and things, particularly if it is the white pasta. Don't forget, the wholemeal pasta should be fine and is much healthier for us overall. We then get to the afternoon. Now, if you've had the high sugary breakfast, you've had a biscuit and a coffee for your morning break, then for lunch you've had a pasta salad. By now your blood sugar levels will have gone right up again, and then they will have zoomed right down, because it's so fast. The insulin comes in, takes it down. You're now desperate to have something in the afternoon, and you think, something will keep me going. I know, I'll have a scone with some butter. We all know about that. We've got the same thing again, simple carbohydrate, no protein, and you've got nothing in there that's going to slow things down. So your blood sugar levels will once again peak and come right down again. If you need an afternoon snack, again, you could go for something like a handful of nuts. It's amazing. I tend to keep a packet of nuts now in my tea and coffee cupboard. And it's clever, because it means that when you go to make a coffee, you're not then coming face to face with the packet of biscuits. You're actually seeing the packet of nuts, and you're much more likely to have a few of those, and it really does help. So you're better to either not have a snack, or, as I said, something small. Again, it could be just something like a piece of ham on a little piece of crisp bread, something like that, which will keep you going till your dinner. By the time you get to dinner, it could be that you want to go for something as a treat. You've been good all day, you've eaten all the right things. I want to go mad. Just be careful about what you're having. So you want to include protein, okay, so a meat of some sort perhaps. It could be that you want to go for steak and chips. If you're just having steak and chips, you've got your protein in there, but now you're having chips, which are simple carbohydrates. You might be better to go for something like grilled fish or grilled chicken, and maybe have some oven roasted vegetables to go with that. I know you're probably thinking, oh heavens above, this is all sounding boring, but it still can be lovely, nutritious, tasty food that we will enjoy. It's not meant to be something that we're suffering. But if we take a grip of things now, we will find that when we get back to mixing in society, you may find that the pounds start to fall off you again. Lovely to feel. And lovely to see. We will be much more confident, we will be much happier about ourselves, and let's face it, when we get together, we're going to be delighted to see each other, whatever. Take care, enjoy yourselves, and stay safe. Bye for now.